want to record it because I put it online as well. So anything you say is being recorded. And who here wants to hear a story? Who wants to hear an ancient medieval tale of erotic tension? But it stands a story by itself. So, okay, we're going to start. Now, my cup of tea, because I like to have a wee cup of tea as well. Okay. Alright, so buckle up. Get somebody you can give a hug to if it gets too much for you, okay? There's another person. And we'll just do it and we'll see what happens. If this gets too much, drag me off. Okay, so. Once upon a time, okay? A long time ago, there was a kingdom called Ulster, okay? One of the kingdoms of Ireland. And Ulster at this time was ruled by two kings, Dubhlacha and Finn. Okay, there was two kings. And this was not unheard of. It was okay. One king would rule for a year, and then the other king ruled for a year. They'd take turns about. And the most important thing was that the kings, would support each other during this, and it kept the balance of the kingdom. And in ancient Ireland, if kings are in balance, then the kingdom's in balance. And what they're saying, the writing, is that the crops grow and inheritances are not challenged. That's what they say. So everything's in balance. So you get these two kings, Dubhlacha and Finn, and they're taking turns about. And everything is fine. It's brilliant. Nothing could go wrong. However, there's another kingdom. And the kingdom is called Dalriada. And it's across the water from Ulster, and eventually Dalriada will become Scotland. And Finn is king at this moment, and he suddenly gets involved in a war in Dalriada. And the war in Dalriada is because the king of Dalriada has anointed a woman, an old woman, and she's known as tacaíocht, the black hag, okay? And you don't want to mess with her, so she gets the king of Ulster to come and slaughter the king of Dalriada, okay? And so now the king of Ulster's won this big war. He puts his own allies on the throne of Dalriada, and so he comes back, and now he's like the top guy, okay? He's like, I've just won a big war. So now the other king, Finn, is a bit jealous. This is all the introduction. We're not at the story yet. Just hang on. Okay. So things get a bit tense. Fortunately, and this is the first erotic bit, we're going to go this very quickly. Fortunately, when Finn was fighting the king of Dalriada, and there was a big battle, the king of Dalriada had a secret weapon. Okay, it was a biological weapon. It's biological warfare. It's in all the history books. He attacked the Ulster men with huge, enormous, brutal, violent, big, white, fluffy Scottish sheep. And it was brutal because these sheep, they could set you on fire, and then you start to burn, you're screaming like, he'd start to eat you like a living barbecue. And so, Finn was getting defeated by sheep, which is very shameful. He's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And then, bing! A figure appeared, and the figure was tall and handsome and beautiful like myself. And I said, I can help you. And Figure said, who are you? And he says, my name is Manannán. I'm the god of the sea. I hope you're all taking notes because this is going to come over the other one. Okay? I'm the god of the sea. You're supposed to be fighting the king of Dalriada, who's just my friend, the black hag and tacaíocht. So I'm going to help you defeat the sheep. Finn said, thank you, that's brilliant, fantastic. But Manannán said, however, there is one condition. I get to shag your wife. As you do. And Faith went, he said, grand, so I shall be grand. Fine, just go for it. So he did. This is not the story here, this is just the Bible story. This is like the start of Lord of the Rings when your woman talks about elves very Malloy in the back ages. I'm doing that, but they're shagging and they're sea gods and all that. You kill a sheep. So anyway, he goes, shags the wife, comes back, kills his sheep. Fiachra Finn defeats the King of Leinster and becomes top king, okay? And he goes back to Ulster. So now he's won a big battle. And the other king, Fiachra Dubh, he's jealous. And tension is building up. Tension and tension and tension. Fortunately, Fiachra Finn's wife, King Tacaíocht, is pregnant. Surprise. Oh yes, surprise. And she has a baby. Look for the baby. That's dead easy. Look, baby. Oh, baby. She has a baby. It's a wee boy. He's got a big mop of black hair, so they call him Mongan, which apparently means the hairy one, okay? So they call him the very nice hairy one, Mongan. And that very same day, Fiachra Dubh, the rival king, his wife had a baby too. Because you know, peer pressure, she had a baby as well. And it was a wee girl. And she called the wee girl Dubhlacha, okay? Which I think means black duck or something. I don't know. I don't know. Just work it out. So anyway, so the tension's simmering, but the two queens talking to say we can sort this out. What we'll do, again another plan that cannot fail, is we can engage your newborn child and my newborn child. I know they're only 1 day old, but we can get them married. Which is fine. So they said, okay, we'll do that, but we'll wait till they're a bit older, you know, wait till they're finished breastfeeding and then we'll marry them, you know, we'll give them a bit of time. So fine. So the children were engaged. This is a great idea because then it would bring the two factions together and also would be back in peace and harmony again. And he's all fine with this so far because I've not even started the story yet. So then King Tacaíocht, who's the wife of Fiachra Finn, who shagged Manannán shagged, not Finn. She is now just done with this. She's had a baby, she's been a queen, she's got a whole pile of other stories. She's had to give birth, she's had to shag a sea god. She's like, I'm scuttled, I'm leaving, I'm gone. And so she leaves and she goes to Scotland, she settles on an island, she takes up Christianity, as you do, she becomes a saint, and then she becomes one of the founding saints of the Scottish nation. That's her business. So now, Fiachra Finn is left with a baby, the hairy baby, Mongan. And he's the father of Mongan, but he's not the only father because Manannán is also the father. This is beautiful. It's actually two fathers for this child. I think that's very beautiful. We should celebrate that. We take pause. Beautiful. Okay. So now he's got this baby. The wife's gone. He's left holding the baby. He's like, oh, for sake, that's going to cramp my style so badly. But just then, ding! Manannán turns up. And Manannán says, I will take the child if you don't mind. I will raise him because he needs to learn special skills to become the future King of Ulster. I will take him if you do not mind Fiachra Finn. And Fiachra Finn went, don't mind at all! Take him! So poor wee Mongan was taken by the sea god to this magical kingdom beneath the sea, okay? Octopus guard, I don't know, he's taken away there. So now, this is for things, and this is where it's going to get tense and tense, okay? Focus now, okay? That was just an introduction. So Fiachra Finn now, he's like the top guy. He's defeated Dubhlacha, he's like the cool dude. The wife has gone to Scotland to become a Christian. He's like, fine. The baby's gone away with a magic sea god. So he's got nobody camping his style. So now he's like, and he's dancing, he's in the whole kind of bachelor lifestyle. He's got his yam pan, he's drumming bass. He's having a great time. He's taking selfies with all sorts of gorgeous folk, and it's brilliant. It's a great time. And of course, Fiachra Dubh, the rival, he is incensed because he still has the wife and he still has a baby, and he didn't defeat Dubhlacha, and he's irked. Irked is not strong enough a word. He is very earnest. So one day, Fiacre Finn's got a yard party with some drum and bass, so he calls up his warriors and they ambush Fiacre Finn and they kill him dead. I know. So now Fiacre Finn is dead, okay? Didn't even get to the party, he's dead. And so Fiacre Dubh is now the one sole ruler of Ulster. I'm the one king of Ulster. And everybody's like, oh shit. He's a really rubbish king. And people don't like him, he's bitter, he's jealous, he did not fight a war with Dalriada. And so things begin to get out of kind of sync in Ulster. Tensions are building, and things are out of balance, and crops are failing, and there's tensions, and wee battles are building up, and all the people of Ulster are thinking, what will we do? And then they remember Mongan, the hairy baby. He's been sent off to the, God, he's way off to somewhere with Manannán MacLear. So they start sending prayers to the ancient sea god. Bring us back Mongan. Let Mongan be the king of Ulster. I even sang songs to him. So Mongan was with Manannán MacLear, his other father, his sea god father. And the sea god father didn't let him go back to Ulster. He said, no, Mongan, there's much I need to teach you. This is now we're coming into the story now. I have to teach you much. You have to learn so much to become the future king of Ulster, because Ireland is changing. I will teach you much. So he taught the child, the wee child, he grew and grew. He taught him warfare, how to fight battles. He also taught him kingcraft, how to make decisions and negotiate. He also taught him old magic, the powerful old magic of Ireland, and the magic that Manannán MacLear himself would channel to have powers over seas and lakes and rivers. He taught him all that. But he also taught the child about the new magic. For Ireland was changing, and there was a new magic coming in. And it was a new magic that was held in a thing called a book. And the words in it weren't Irish, they were Latin. And so, Mongan learns all this stuff. And he goes, and the years go by, and he gets older and older. And still the prayers are coming from Ulster, also getting more tense. And finally, Manannán MacLear decides that it's time for Mongan to go back to Ulster. He's only 16, he's just a boy, but he's going to be sent back to become the king of Ulster. Now the people in Ulster, the first intimation they get that Mongan is coming back is there's sightings of a huge wave. There's a great wave seen in the North Sea and it's coming towards Ulster. They cheer when they see the wave. Yes! You know what that wave means? It means there must be something happening. And there's reports that there's a boy standing on the crest of the wave, wearing fine clothes and a crown. So they know, of course, it's Mongan coming to claim his throne. Now, Fiacre Dubh hears this as well. He knows Mongan's coming, and he's thinking, should I kill him? But then he thinks, no, I'm going to think clever about bide my time and sort this out. So finally, this giant enormous wave crashes against the shore of Ulster, and it booms the way waves do, and all the pebbles all rattle and boom like explosions, and the water goes back, and the boy is standing there. And Mongan is standing there, and you have to think about it. He's the king of Ulster, but he's only 16 years of age, okay? And he's not really socialised with folk. He's been hanging out with, I don't know, what do you get to see? Goldfish, whatever. He's just not, he's not a people person yet, okay? And suddenly he's on the shore, and there's all these people, and they're cheering. No, they're not cheering. They're overwhelmed with awe. Oh my goodness. I forgot to say, if I take pictures of videos, please feel free to do so and send them everywhere because I'm a pure poor. Okay. I'm quoting Mulhern there, not myself. And then the crowds part. And there comes Fiacre Dubh, okay, with his soldiers. And he walks towards Mongan and everybody's a bit tense. But when he gets to Mongan, instead of killing him, he bows. And he says, welcome back to Ulster. And Mongan says, thank you very much. I'm a king as well. And Fiacre Dubh looks at him and he's thinking, this guy's an idiot. This is going to be so easy. Well, yes, you are now going to be joint king with me. I was joint king with your father. You're going to be joint king with me, and it'll all be fine. And Mom would say, oh, that's great. Cause you know, it'd be helpful to have another king, so I'm not quite sure what to do. And Fiacre says, it's grand, I'll teach everything, and better still, you might not remember this because you were only 1 day old at the time, but you are engaged to my daughter, Dubhlacha, and here she is. And Dubhlacha pops out, and Dubhlacha's just a wee girl as well, she's only 16, she goes, hello. And poor Mom, he's never seen a girl. Oh, it's a girl. Hello. He's not sure what girls and boys are supposed to do, but there's something there. There's a wee kind of oh, and she's got a wee oh as well. And Fiacre Dubh says, this is great. In a week's time, you shall be wed. Okay, so it's going to be a royal wedding. The sisters get everything in this story. It's going to be a royal wedding. So, the wedding comes around. And it's a splendid wedding. All the great lords and ladies of Ulster, and some down there as well, they're called to this great feast. The peasants are brought as well, they're sent food as well, they're in the fields, they're food and drink, and there's celebrations and there's dancing. And so, Fiacre Dubh, he kind of presides over the ceremonies. Mongan marries Dubhlacha. And they kind of marry each other, and they kind of look at each other and go, we're married. I think we've got to do stuff now. And Mom goes, what do you mean? And Dubhlacha says, well, my maid says that after you wed, then you bed. Mom goes, oh, bed sounds great, 'cause I'm really tired. He says, I don't think it's that. I think it's something different. And Mom is looking at her and he's thinking, oh. And there's wee things happening to him, and he's looking at her, and she's looking at him, and the wedding's going, and they're getting a wee bit nervous, but also a wee bit excited. And then at this moment, a figure walked into the feast. There's always figures walking in. And the figure's walking in, he's very somber looking, he's wearing black. And he comes over, and he sits down at the table where Mongan and Dubhlacha is. And Mongan looks at him, and he recognises the dress of the man. He recognises him. He's one of those Christians. He's a Christian cleric. And he remembers how he's supposed to address them. He goes, can I help you, Father? And the priest says, you can. I have come here to put my blessing on your wedding. And Dubhlacha and Mongan go, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But I've also come here to tell you something. And Dubhlacha goes, is it the bed thing? The priest goes, no. This is about honour. I need to talk to you about honour. And so the two teenagers got to see his faces. Okay, what about honour? And the priest says, well, honour is very important, especially for a king, Mongan. And you have a debt of honour you owe your father. And Mongan looks at him and said, my father? Manannán MacLear, no, your mortal father, Fiacre didn't. You owe him a debt of honour. And Mom looks and says, I can't give him a debt of honour, he's dead. And the priest said, I know he's dead. Your wife's father killed him. And you must avenge that death. You must kill Fiacre Dubh. This is the kind of thing priests tell you on your wedding. Go kill your father-in-law. It'll definitely help the bed thing. So Mom is a bit shocked. And of course, Dubhlacha is a bit shocked, but they look at each other, and Dubhlacha goes, if it's for honour, it must be done. And Mongan says, okay, I'll do it. And he did. So the party was going on, the feast was going on, and apparently Fiacre Dubh, he left the party. I don't suppose why he left. He was going to look at the stars and all this kind of thing. Honestly, I think he'd just been drinking too much Guinness and had to go for a piss in the bushes. Okay? Anyway, he's outside, whether he's peeing or looking at the stars, it's all very beautiful. Fiacre Dubh is out there, and he turns around, and there is Mongan. And he opened his arms apparently and said, Mongan, you're now my son. This is wonderful, wonderful. Come to me. And Mongan came towards him. He was all nervous and not sure of himself. And then he got himself, he girded himself up. And as Fiacre Dubh stood there, Mongan took out his knife and plunged it into the neck of Fiacre Dubh and slit his throat. And the blood sprayed all over the boy. And he went back to the wedding, and he stood there, and everybody kind of went, huh. Okay. They said, I have news. There is now only one king of Ulster, and that king is me. And a lot of folk were a bit put out, and then a lot of folk thought about it and went, do you know what? Fiach a dove. He's a bastard, we don't like him anyway, so good riddance, let's party on. And they all carried on partying, and nobody was bothered. So now Mongan sits down beside Dubhlacha, his wife, and he looks at her, and she looks at him, and he's covered in gore. And he says to her, well, now we're wed. Now we should bed. And she looked at her husband, she said, hold on. I'm not bedding anybody. My father's just been stabbed to death by you. And he looks at her and goes, yeah, but it was for honour. She said, I understand. But for honour's sake, I now must mourn my father. I must mourn him. And Mongan looked at her and said, I understand. Of course. Mourn your father, take as long as you want. She went, thank you. So now they're sat there, there's about tense between them, and of course the priest returns. The priest returns, he sits down at the table, he puts his arm around Mongan and goes, well done, Mongan. And Mongan takes the arm off and says, excuse me, King Mongan. And the priest went, of course you're king. Of course you're king. I'm very, very proud of you. And with that, the priest wiggled. He changed shape, and it was Manannán himself. He said, I just thought I'd come to the wedding to make sure you'd done the proper thing to become a proper king. Mongan went, thanks, Dad. I'm now king, I'm not quite sure what to do. Any more advice? And Manannán went, no more advice. You're the king now. I'm going back to hang out with the goldfish and whatever. I'm going to leave you. However, I'll give you one piece of advice. Get yourself a good friend. And the friend I'll advise for you is that man there. His name is Manannán. Manannán was the son of your father's servant. He's a fine man. He will look after you and give you advice. So, what with this? Mongan says, thank you very much. I will speak to you. So he went to speak to Manannán. And meanwhile, poor Dubhlacha, she went off to her chamber to begin doing the mourning thing, okay? Again, the story's almost about to begin. So now the wedding carries on, but Manannán looks at Mongan and he says, Your Majesty, I think you should end the wedding now. Let folk go. You've got things to do, you're now king. This is okay. So the wedding begins to slowly finish up. And Dubhlacha, she's over there in her chambers doing the mourning thing. And now Mongan is king, and he doesn't know what to do. And Manannán says, well, my father helped your father. I know what you must do. Now that you're sole king of Ulster, you must travel the whole of Ireland and introduce yourself to all the kings of Ireland. And that will take a year to do. And you'll come back in a year's time, well, your wife will have done her mourning will be over, and finally you can finish your wedding day. And Mongan's like, that's a brilliant idea. Let's do it! Okay. Things move very fast in this story, okay? So just a week ago he's landed on the shore from away. He's been married to a girl who he thinks he has to do things with, he's not quite sure, but then he's had to kill her father, so she's definitely not going to do it, and then she's going, and now he's got a friend, Manannán, who's going to take him round Ireland. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Oh, thank good God. This is the summary. Okay, so they go all the way around Ireland, there's lots of adventures, we're absolutely not going to go into them. All you have to know is to do the thing, it takes a year, and the last place they come to is Leinster. Okay. Now they come to Leinster, and the King of Leinster, he welcomes the King of Ulster, King Mongan, please come, I'll give you a feast, it's a beautiful feast. when the feast is over, he gives Mongan a lovely bedchamber to sleep in. Macandolf, he just sleeps with servants. So, Mongan sleeps in this beautiful bed, in this beautiful chamber, in this beautiful fort in Leinster. And the next day he wakes up, he's in a wonderful sleep. And he looks out the window and he sees the most marvellous sight ever. He looks out the window and there's a great field there. And in the field there are 50 cows. The most beautiful cows you've ever seen. They're white and they're fat and they're round and they've got great big udders and they've got red ears and they've got red hooves and they're most beautiful. And so when Mongan goes for breakfast with the King of Leinster and he's chatting to him, the King of Leinster says, "How are you doing?" And Mongan says, "You know, I'm having a wonderful time. I loved sleeping in that chamber last night, it was very comfortable. And this morning I woke up and I saw the most beautiful sight ever." And the King of Leinster said, "What did you see?" "Oh, I saw these cows. Oh my goodness, these cows. I have never seen anything in Ireland as beautiful as these cows." And the King of Leinster looks at him and says, "Ah, no, they're not the most beautiful thing in Ireland. Apparently I've heard that your wife is even more beautiful than those cows." And just cultural reference, in Ireland, if somebody tells you your girlfriend is more beautiful than a cow, it's a compliment. So Mongan's like, "Oh, thank you, that's a really kind thing to say. Yeah, I'll think that myself. Dubhlacha is definitely more beautiful than a cow. Yes, thank you." And the King of Leinster says, "I'll tell you what, why don't you take the cows back to Ulster, give them to your beautiful wife?" Mongan says, "That's wonderful, thank you. Is there anything I can do for you?" And the King of Leinster says, "Sure, just give me your friendship without limit." Somebody's have been there already. So Mongan says, "Sure, Gran, brilliant, you have my friendship without limit, I pledge you." And that day, after his meal, he heads back to Ulster with the 50 cows and Macandolf, and they get back to Ulster. And they step over the border of Ulster. When they step over the border of Ulster, they see two women. And Macandolf runs to one of the women and embraces her, because it's his wife. But Mongan's looking at the other woman, he doesn't recognise her at all until she speaks. And she goes, "Mongan, you've returned." And he realises it's Dubhlacha. And he looks at her, "Oh my wife, you've changed." And so she had. In a year, she'd grown from a girl to a young woman, a young queen, very regal. And she said, "Come now, let's go back to the fort, we'll have some food, and then we will finish our wedding." That's again sort of hint for anybody here, reference. Okay? Great, Dubhlacha, let's do that. So they go back, they have the meal, they get a bit kind of giggly. And then suddenly, just as they're ready to leave and go in bed, suddenly the door of the great feasting hall opens up, and runs Macandolf. It goes, "Your Majesty, something terrible has happened." And poor Mongan's like, "What? What's happened?" So that's the King of Leinster. He's just crossed the border and he's got a huge army with him. Oh. So Mongan says, "I'll sort this out. I'll go talk to him. He's my friend without limits. I'll go talk to him." So he did. And Mongan left the fort. He didn't bring weapons, he didn't bring any soldiers, he went himself. He greeted the King of Leinster. He said, "You're very welcome, my friend, but why have you brought an army?" And the King of Leinster went, Oh, they're just doing manoeuvres and passing by Ulster. Just not going to come around and say, "Hello! Hello!" He goes, "Hello, I'm a bit concerned about the army. I'll tell you what, since we're friends and I'm a friend of yours, women, why don't you come back to my fort? I'll give you a great feast. But can I ask your army just to stay here? I'll send wine and food out, it'll be fine." And the King of Leinster says, "Do you know what? That's a good idea." So things are looking fine. The army sit there, they're drinking and having a great time. The King of Leinster goes back to the King of Ulster's fort. He's eating food. And things are grand. And they're chatting away. And then the King of Leinster looks at Mongan. And he says, "I'm actually here for a reason." Mongan said, "Oh, what's that?" I'm just checking about how our friendship's doing. And Mongan says, the friendship's well, I pledged it to you on my honour, I pledged it, I'm your friend without limits. And the King of Leinster looked at him and said, without limits, you see? Yeah, I'll give you anything you want except for my kingdom. Kings can't give away the kingdom. And the King of Leinster says, that's grand, I don't want your kingdom. What I want is that. And he pointed, and who was standing there? You know this story. You know this story. She's been writing it all through. Dubhlacha is standing there. Huh? And the King of Leinster says, yes, your husband has pledged his friendship to me without limit, so I'm asking he gives you to me. Poor Dubhlacha. She's also gagging for it. And she looks at her husband and says, is this true? You made a pledge without limit? And Mongan said, I have. And she says, well, I'm honour bound then to go with the King of Leinster. And Mongan's like, okay. So she looks at the King of Leinster says, I tell you what, King of Leinster, the outside, I'll talk to you in a minute, and we will walk for a second. So the King of Leinster leaves the fort, Dubhlacha leaves with him, they're standing outside, the King of Leinster's there, Dubhlacha's there, and she looks at the King of Leinster. And then she leans towards him, and she says, thank you. And the King of Leinster goes, what? Thank you so much. I've actually dreamt about this day for a long, long time. I've had such dreams about you, King of Leinster. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're taking me away from him. And the King of Leinster's going, yes, okay, grand, brilliant, let's go. She says, however, I am concerned. I'm concerned that you may beg me, then put me aside, and who would have me then? So you must prove that you have a proper love for me. And the King of Leinster goes, sure, absolutely, I can do that. What do you want me to do? And Dubhlacha says, build me a cottage beside your fort in Leinster. And I will live in that cottage for a year with my maid, and you will not touch me for a year. And after that year is up, then you'll proven yourself, and then we will wed, and then we will bed. And Leinster goes, yes, okay, no problems, a year cottage, we'll do it. She says, okay, I'll join you in a minute. I just have to say farewell to Mongan, because technically he's still my husband. So she went into the... You still following this? It's not complicated at all, is it? She goes back in, and Mongan's standing there, kind of like... Oh. She says, husband, listen to me now. Listen to me. I am honour bound to go with the King of Leinster, but you are honour bound to rescue me. You went, oh. Says, no worries, I'm going to get all the warriors of Ulster, I'll get all the warriors of Galway, will come down and will kick ass. She went, no. No. You must rescue me without warfare. You must rescue me in a proper and honourable way. There will be no war. You must figure out a way of getting me back without warfare. And Molly looked and went, okay. And she went, so I'll see you soon. And with that she left. She went to Leinster. The King of Leinster built her a cottage. She lived in the cottage for a year with the maid. The King of Leinster was not allowed to touch her. He could come in and visit as long as he sat at the far end of the room. She was going to be very proper, so she's down in Leinster. Meanwhile, Mongan is up in Ulster and he's desperately trying to think of a really cunning plan. And when we come back to the break, I'll tell you the plan is. Thank you.